Go live.
I feel like we're going to be making fun of Tony for my family actually gets mad at me for making fun of Tony. Tony, can you tell my family if they see this that you love it when I make fun of you and it makes you happy?
I love it and it makes me
happy. Never mind. I'll tone it down. I'll try to tone it down. Hello, everybody.
It's okay if it's warranted. At least let me defend myself, not like yesterday's park talk. I'm like,
it's not my fault you were behind. I was waiting for your comment. I was going to put it up. Welcome to, what are we? Dig a Little Deeper on Laughing Place TV, LPTV, Dig a Little Deeper time. We do so many lives, I feel like we need call letters now. We are here to talk about an attraction in depth. That's why we call it Dig a Little Deeper, because we start here and we go a little deeper. So today's attraction is everyone's favorite, Disneyland's PeopleMover. What a classic. Joining us today, since this is an attraction that's no longer here, we have our extinct attraction expert. There's Cole.
Hello, that's me. I'm Cole.
Down below, we have a guy. Yes, Jeremiah.
Me?
Me, yes. I don't know what your position is today. We'll decide after the show. And over there, the guy with the funny glasses and the cool costume. Can you stand up and show yourself off?
Well, it's only the top half.
Whoa. We don't need to. No one needs to poo on this show.
I am grid ready.
Yeah, it's good. User, that would be Tony, the one and only. So, as we are wont to do, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, please click the thumbs up, please ring the bell, so you know when we go live. Okay, PeopleMover. Oh, by the way, we are live. We are live. I would hold up a newspaper if I had one, if those were still created, but we are actually live. So if you have any comments, you have any questions, please put them in the comments. We can make them appear on screen like this. Hi, Cindy. And we would be happy to address them. So please.
It's 7:02. See, we're live.
Oh, see, I'm 4:02. You're in the future.
Yeah, it's 4:02. I don't know what you're talking about.
We should do that when I introduce you where we're coming from. I'm coming from Northern California. Jeremiah's coming from
Claremont, Florida.
Tony.
Lake Buena Vista, Florida.
And Cole.
From Disney's headquarters, Burbank, California.
All right. Here we go. Cole, want to give a nice PeopleMover introduction to the people?
Oh, yes. So we're going to just people mosey right on in. It's the People Mosier today, not the PeopleMover. It's really shaking it up today. So to start out, it's important to start with Epcot, which may seem counterintuitive, but that's where we're going today. Because, as you can see from this lovely photograph, the original idea for the PeopleMover actually originated with Walt's idea for what he wanted to do with Epcot and making it a true community of tomorrow, since its name is the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. There we go. Look at that. So one of the ways that they were going to have transportation throughout the city to help reduce from traffic congestion and everything was to have a lot of people movers around that could easily transport people, be continuously in motion, and just kind of be the new wave of transportation that Walt Disney thought one day we might see. Obviously, Epcot didn't quite turn out that way. It changed quite a lot over its years, but the idea for the PeopleMover did get to come around while Walt was still around with the New York's World Fair. So as you probably know, there was a lot of different pavilions that Disney worked on, and one of the most common was the Ford Magic Skyway. So here you can see the dinosaurs that eventually found their way to another transportation at the Disneyland Railroad with the Primeval World theme.
And question. So this is actually a PeopleMover type attraction we're looking at?
Yes. So
that's not actual cars?
They were modified cars.
Okay, because I've seen this picture before, and I just thought tailgating was a big issue in the 60s. So I am very happy you've clarified that for me.
Yes, you didn't just drive your specific Ford car that you could only come on the attraction if you had a Ford car through the attraction.
That's really cool. Just as an aside, are those the same dinosaurs that ended up in Primeval World?
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So world, not world. Sorry. World is totally different.
Yeah.
Also extinct, but
recently.
So they basically put in, I believe, from what I was understanding, like extra wheels underneath the Ford cars, and that was what propelled the Ford cars along. to keep them moving. So Bob Gurr, legendary Imagineer.
And former Laughing Place columnist.
Yes. He was the, not the architect, but the inventor behind this People Mover technology, as well as many other ride vehicles throughout his time. Kind of a big deal, you know, no big deal, but he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. Yeah.
You know, if it weren't for the Ford's Magic Skyway, we wouldn't have had Doom buggies.
Sure.
Or in a way, Test Track.
Really, a lot came out of this technology and really expanded into what different ride systems were. I feel like I missed something, but it's fine.
Just Jeremiah's an idiot. If you missed it, it'll come back around, I guarantee you. So,
Yes.
Go ahead.
If it wasn't for Jeremiah being an idiot.
You'd have no personality at all.
Okay, so when the World's Fair ended, Walt was like, what do I do now? There's so many things. Disneyland will never be completed, as he so often said. You know, he didn't actually really say, but like the idea behind it was there. Yes.
Okay, he didn't say that. I thought
I think it's not exact. Like it gets misquoted a lot. I forget what the exact quote is, but the
exact quote was, "You can't top pigs with pigs."
And they also use that quote to justify so many things.
Okay, Tony. Quiet, Tony. Go ahead, Cole.
Like Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which we'll get to later.
I would say Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but okay.
Oh, man. We're here to talk about something we can all
agree on. Go on, Cole. Sorry.
So anyway, one of the things that Walt wanted to work on then was updating Tomorrowland, because they said it in 1985, and 1985 was coming very fast, because one of the classic problems with Tomorrowland is that it is always set in the future, which is always coming fast at you. So in 1967, they officially opened New Tomorrowland on July 2nd. So Adventure Through Inner Space opened with that, as well as the People Mover. There's Walt testing the People Mover. Unfortunately, he passed away before New Tomorrowland could open, but he still got to test the technology, got to see what it was like. I really liked the look of that People Mover car too, I gotta say. I like it without kind of the top on it, and there's no like covering on it. It looks pretty good. And you can see the wheel at the bottom too that propelled it along. So they would kind of just get enough momentum to get them to the next wheel and then keep going in that way. So one of the coolest things too is that they could get a lot of people on those ride vehicles. So their theoretical hourly ride capacity was 4,800 people, which is quite a lot. For comparison, Haunted Mansion is about 3,200. So about 1.5 times more than Haunted Mansion, which is one of the quickest loading attractions. I don't know this for sure, but I would say that's probably the highest ever theoretical hourly ride capacity, because I can't imagine something being able to load faster than that. And if it does, I want to find it, because it sounds pretty cool in my mind.
Even more than its replacement?
Oh, just a tiny
let's
bit.
not go that far.
Just a tiny bit more than its replacement, theoretically, an hourly ride capacity of 0.
Wow.
So one thing that Walt saw was that he envisioned the People Mover kind of as this stepping stone for Epcot, as I was talking about earlier, but just a bigger type of thing that was going to happen. Obviously, that didn't really happen, but it's still, the idea of it has kind of been seen a lot for moving forward. Like we've seen that in kind of monorail technology. Sometimes, I don't know. I don't get the Orlando airport where they say that it's a People Mover, even though it feels a lot more like a monorail to me. But there are outside places that have started to use some of this People Mover technology, though it never really caught on in the way that Walt thought it would. And so you would ride through above Tomorrowland, as you still can in Disney World, and you would be able to look up. You can still see its wonderful tracks today. Makes you a little sad, but there was for the most part, when it opened, it was really just kind of this scenic overlook. There wasn't as many kind of show scenes, but then that changed in 1977 when they added the super speed tunnel, which was just kind of, you would go through and everything, like the screens would move fast, really fast next to you. You'd see the cars there, and it was quite thrilling from what I heard. I don't know if you probably experienced the later one at least.
I experienced the super speed tunnel, and it was maybe the highlight of a trip to Disneyland, was just being in that super speed tunnel. It was so incredible, so cool.
It got better.
Yes, but here's my question, the trivia question for the day. What attraction did the super speed tunnel originate in and then was brought to the PeopleMover?
I feel like I used to know this. Circle Vision?
No.
Square Vision?
It was if you had wings, right?
That is correct. If You Had Wings did it first using the OmniMover technology.
You can do everything.
Had wings. Yeah, so they took that technology from If You Had Wings and brought it into the PeopleMover, and clearly it was a big success, especially because you can go a little faster, I would think, in the PeopleMover cars than you probably were going in the OmniMover. You could kind of simulate it a little bit better than just sitting one row in front of each other. So, and that super speed tunnel was on top of where, I still call it the Interventions building, even though Interventions forever.
The Carousel of Progress building.
There's a
America's Sings
of Interventions.
But yeah, America's Sings was in it when they opened, which is also pretty fascinating to me, that underneath, as you're going through the super speed tunnel, America Sings was just going in this giant circle underneath you, and there was like race cars on top of you.
Speedboats. The speedboats were my favorite in the super speed tunnel. No one asked.
So then, on July 2nd, 1982, the super speed tunnel changed to, as Tony is showing us, Tron and the PeopleMover through the amazing world of Tron, which sounded even cooler. I don't know if you guys want to speak to that, because I never got to experience it, but it sounded pretty cool to me.
Hang on, let me give you an example of exactly how it sounds, because this would have been so much better if I sent this to Doobie.
Don't copyright it. I did experience both. Tron was cool. Super Speed Tunnel was way better.
Mm.
Like,
the electronic realm of the master computer program.
So
Prepare for the game grid of Tron.
that part was cool.
yeah. I also remember being a wee lad and that terrifying me.
You were easily horrified, Tony.
I was. For a while, if it was at an amusement or a theme park and it moved in any way, I wouldn't touch it.
It's funny how he went on to help run Jurassic World, though.
I wouldn't write it.
From the control booth. I wasn't at the attractions or anything like that.
Oh, I thought you worked at Jurassic World.
I worked at Jurassic Park, Doobie. Not Doobie. Jeremiah. I'm so used to defending myself against Doobie. I'm sorry.
I was totally setting Doobie up for the...
Okay.
Did you work at Jurassic World in the control center?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a chance to pick on you. Tony's getting a day off.
Okay.
Yeah. So one more quick thing, but then you can say that it was just interesting that they opened the light cycle run through there, not the actual light cycle run that's coming, but they opened it a week before the movie came out. So they were already anticipating the success that Tron would have.
Ha 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 ha! Should have stuck with the super speed tunnel.
So yeah, Jeremiah, did you want to talk about it?
I have a question about the super speed tunnel because I never got to do the super speed tunnel. What? I've only seen video. Did it alternate different vehicles?
Yeah, just while you were in there, it would be race cars, and then it would just instantly switch to speedboats, and I don't know what else.
So things moving quickly.
Yeah,
yes.
It's just like in the game grid of Tron, where first you're going down into the game grid and they cut to the light cycles. It would just alternate that.
Okay.
Like that.
Because I remember that part, but
now,
I get it.
wasn't before the super speed tunnel. That was where the original Epcot model was, up there on the second level of the Carousel of Progress, right?
That would make sense to me. I never ran across that, but I would believe that if that is true.
Yes, when they brought the Carousel of Progress from the New York World's Fair, they still had the part where you'd go upstairs and you would see the model of Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And then that got closed off and became Office Space, not the movie. And then the super speed tunnel part was built onto that.
Yeah.
True. Continue,
And then
Cole.
the Epcot model still got to live on then too, on the second floor of another ride.
A lot smaller. A lot
Yeah,
smaller.
it's true. Yeah.
Did they shrink it, or is it just a part of it?
It's just like a chunk of it.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you guys want to maybe talk a bit more about your experience with it, because I never actually got the chance to ride it because it closed before I was born. So,
Which was 1995.
yeah.
I remember I used to go to the park all the time that summer of 1995. That was my first summer being a big Disney fan. I got my annual pass right after Memorial Day. I would go nearly every
churros.
Love them churros. I would go nearly every day, and I would ride the PeopleMover all the time. And all the time that thing would break, and you would see people walking off of it. And it was no big deal. It happened like all the time. And then one day it happened, and it just never reopened. And that was the end of the PeopleMover. Very sad way for such a wonderful attraction to say goodbye. It didn't, not with the whimper, but with the bang. I got that backwards. Not with the bang, but with the whimper. There we go.
Sounds like it's successor.
Yes, exactly. That's something about that. I would not want to be a ride going on that track. That's a bad thing.
Tony, do you want to talk while I'm trying to find a picture or something?
Uh-oh. Okay. I went on the first PeopleMover I remember doing was the one here. The Wedway PeopleMover here. Because I distinctly remember in 91 going through it. And again, like I said, I was terrified of anything that moves. And at the time, and you could see Space Mountain, and my parents were trying to convince me to get on Space Mountain. They're like, look, it's not that bad. And that was when you could still see it, and you would see it glowing, and you just see it just dive down. And I was like, nope. And they were convincing me that we were going to be on that one at some point while I was on the PeopleMover. But later on, I went to Disneyland again from Northern California, where I lived at the time. And I remember loving that one there, but the Tron part scaring me, which is, I wish more than anything we had that out here, but we'll have something else soon. But there was a blip there, and I kind of touched upon this earlier before we went live, where I was actually genuinely terrified of getting on the PeopleMover for about a year.
And this was when?
The early
Last year?
90s.
Early 90s, okay. And why was that, Tony?
94-ish. But I'm glad I got at least one more in before 95, because I remember that. But
why were you terrified?
It's a really embarrassing, irrational thing. But my parents were divorced, and they were very, very protective over me whenever we'd go someplace where it was just me and my mom or my dad or whatever. And they would teach me make like a Home Alone scream if anybody you didn't know came for you or like tried to steal me, as it were. And in the early 90s, there were accusations for a very, very, very popular musician of the time. And they would always talk about it on the news. And in California, they would use B-roll of him on the PeopleMover at Disneyland. So I knew if I went on the PeopleMover, that particular musician has a chance at grabbing me. So I would not go on the PeopleMover for a good. Jeremiah is not. Why are you like not surprised by that?
That is hilarious.
I gave up on trying to find the picture because that story was just making me lose it too much.
Well, at least we understand better the product.
I got on the PeopleMover again.
So I think I probably out of all of us rode the PeopleMover the most often. I was a Disneyland kid, so I remember going every summer from pretty much the time I was 8 or 9, every summer at least once, and going on the PeopleMover. And you can see behind me, Cole, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but they used to have Mary Blair artwork on both sides of the Tomorrowland tunnel, Tomorrowland walkway. And this is the one that was over what is now Buzz Lightyear, and they had one that was where the overflow queue is for Star Tours. But I remember seeing the Mary Blair artwork. I remember seeing Adventures Through Inner Space. It always seems to come back to that ride for me, I guess, because the track used to go right through there. I wasn't around in order to see. I don't remember the speed tunnels. I mean, or the super speed tunnel. I guess I must have seen it at some point, but I can remember Tron like I can pull it up on my phone in a heartbeat. And but one of the things about the PeopleMover that always stood out to me, and I'm sure Doobie felt the same way, is you knew it was a busy day in Disneyland when there was a line for the PeopleMover, and the line used to come down and wrap around the seats and everything. But yeah, the PeopleMover, there we go. Thank you.
Beyond the greatest star of all lies our future. Nobody? Really? Okay. After that mural was removed and it became the American Space Experience, it had a quote along the bottom that said, "Beyond the greatest star of all lies our future." Anyway,
one of the great things about the PeopleMover, in my opinion, that was very good contribution there, Tony.
Deep, very deep.
It gave you a view of the rest of the park. So like Jeremiah said, at one time you would see Adventure Through Inner Space in there. I have very vivid memories of seeing C-3PO in there after Star Tours opened. You got to look in on, well, before the Super Speed Tunnel. After the Super Speed Tunnel. All right, never mind. I'm making no sense. But I was thinking of Rocket Rods for a moment, and you could see Interventions, but not on. Anyway, you could, as you came out, and what I love about Disneyland versus Disney World is the elevations, is the fact that sometimes you're here, sometimes you're way up here. For me, that's just really cool. So I love that as you came out of the Interventions building, you were just so high, and you had such a beautiful view of all of Tomorrowland, and then you'd go through it around the Autopia and submarines, and then you could look down on Circle Vision and the people taking a nap while they're waiting for Circle Vision. I see you, Tony. Yes, go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, when you came out of that building, too, you did something very unique and go over the Skyway.
Did you really? I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That thing went high.
That's insane.
Really
That's
high.
Cool.
It was, in fairness, it was the takeoff point for the Skyway. But
okay. That I remember. By the way, I believe this Crickets would refer to your line on.
Oh, I'm sure.
That made me so happy that everyone was just. So anyway, that was my favorite part of PeopleMover. The elevations and the fact that you got to see other parts of the park was so cool. Which at least the Rocket Rods maintained that just faster.
It was such a golden age for transportation in the park. You could just sit on the Skyway and the PeopleMover all day, and that, I don't know. I would be very pleased with my day if most of it consisted of that.
I was terrified of the Skyway, unfortunately, back then. Right now, I would love it. I would ride it all day long. But back then, because my parents used to tell me this story about this. Sorry. Go ahead. Next.
So, as Jeremiah was kind of saying about the Mary Blair murals being changed, so a major reason for that was, as our story began, Tomorrowland was feeling outdated again, as it is wont to do, since, it's based in the future and that's always coming. So this time they were like, you know what, we're going to do Tomorrowland 2055, cover ourselves for 60 years, then we don't have to change it for a while. And then Disneyland Paris failed and they didn't have money. But anyway, they still continued to say, we don't need the PeopleMover anymore. It's starting to break down. We're going to update things to be more kind of futuristic, go for this spaceport type of feel. And they painted over the Mary Blair murals, made everything kind of look closer to what it looks like today with the planets and everything. And then
later.
What? Yeah, they were a little later because it was the ugly paint
later.
first. Yeah, it was the ugly paint. The ugly paint first with like
all the
green
hidden
and gold. Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't.
With
It
the
didn't
quote
look great.
underneath it, and nobody seems to remember.
Yeah. So anyway, People Mover. There we go. And the quote was there.
Was it there?
I was pointing at it, but you can't see me pointing at the screen.
Yeah, thank you. What does that say again, Tony? Okay, everyone pay
Beyond
attention.
the greatest star of all lies our future.
And Tony, you really knew that off the top of your head?
I did.
Under there, you can see the NASA space experience there. Is that one of the extinct attractions you did, Cole?
I said.
I think I briefly talked about it one time. I don't think I was super into it.
That's a major attraction.
It was hard to find.
You could touch a moon rock.
That was a cool thing. I mean,
yeah.
Not the coolest, but it was cool. That's back when Tomorrowland's heyday.
Was it?
No, not really.
Honestly, who knows if Disneyland Tomorrowland has ever really had a heyday? It's always kind of lacked a little bit of an identity, I would say.
That would be a good question. What was the best year of
late
Tomorrowland?
80s, to be honest with you. Sorry,
yeah,
Jeremiah.
the late 80s would probably be the closest.
Because you had Captain EO, you had the people
Star Tours.
Going Star Tours came into play.
You still had the rockets up in the sky.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole carousel building was empty. I mean, this big huge attraction with nothing.
If you did it before 88,
a new attraction.
Toy Story Playhouse.
Oh man, Ham's all review.
Yeah.
Before I don't know if you were transitioning from the People Mover. I wanted
Sorry, go on.
No.
You could add something.
Make sure you show some pictures that are worth showing.
Oh, I was going to get to that.
Okay, then you're not looking at it yet. I'll wait till you get to it.
Yeah.
Go on. Rebecca said, remember when we saw a NASA event on the screens there? That was cool. I don't remember what it was, but they showed NASA there at a screen, and we watched like NASA at NASA. I felt like we were like mini control people.
Was it the moon landing? Because they showed that there.
Ooh, geez, Cole.
Oh.
Nice knowing you.
If you can make young jokes, I can make
98.
I was not around in '69. Took me all the way till '71 for me to be born. So don't you? Okay, continue, Cole.
Sorry. It was right there. It was right there.
I appreciate it.
So the attraction officially closed August 21st, 1995. So we are now officially at over 25 years since you could last ride the People Mover at Disneyland,
that's amazing. So it's so funny because I grew up like Jeremiah going to the parks, once a year or so. So I would ride the People Mover regularly, but all my memories of it are after I became a huge fan in '95. So just to think that my People Mover memories spanned from basically June 1st through August 20, what you said?
21st.
August 21st, June, July.
Yeah.
June, July. 2 months. Thank you. You did that in your head, didn't you, Tony? 2 months is crazy, but I would ride it multiple times every time I went to the park. I mean, other than the fact I didn't yet know my wife, that was probably the best year of my life. No offense, Gideon. You're great too.
Now is the
and
time.
Gideon.
Now is the best time.
Okay.
So a few mementos of it, though, managed to stick around. So in the Rocket Rod's queue, they had a few different ride vehicles from various attractions.
Sorry, that just made me laugh. The comment.
So it went, various attractions, and one of them was People Mover vehicles. So those were from a little bit later that ended up in the Buzz Lightyear queue. There we go. Those are the ones in the Rocket Rod's queue that were there, so you could look by and just be sad every time you were waiting for 3 hours to go on the Rocket Rods, and then it would break down.
Tony, what's that quote say up there?
In a world of creativity, there's no end to the possibilities.
Is this one of your things, Tony? One of your superpowers is you remember quotes?
Yep. Plus, it's also part of the song from Rocket Rods. In a world of creativity, there's no end to the possibilities.
Why do you sound like Kermit when you sing?
Magic highways of tomorrow. That's why I don't know. I got no
What? Hold on. Here's a trivia question from Jeremiah. What movie was Magic Highways from?
I thought it was called Magic Highways.
The music was from the Sherman Brothers rewrote one of their original songs for the cue for Rocket Rod. Sorry, Cole, to
No,
go
go for it.
completely
Go
off the
for it.
rails, but it wouldn't be Laughing Place if we didn't do this.
I'm
Anyone?
marveling at Tony's talents. No, I have no idea.
Tony?
Like I said, I thought it was Magic Highway, like one of the old like World of Color specials or something.
Yeah, Happiest Millionaire.
Are millionaires ever truly happy?
The Detroit song.
I was gonna guess 1996's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Ooh. Just as long as you don't talk about Country Bears.
I wouldn't dream of it. So yeah, so there are still these vehicles that Doobie has now shown us for our third time. We finally get to talk about them. And these are in the Buzz Lightyear store after you ride the attraction, and it's right at the checkout counter. So there's still some doors keeping their home there. And of course,
That's
really,
still there too, isn't it?
they are still there, yeah. The
I'll talk
biggest
about
one, though,
I'll talk about this one. This
is
is
that. Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll say my last thing.
This is when they brought one to D23, and so my son was happy to get in it, and he actually called this a dream come true. So your turn, Cole.
Well,
Yeah,
can I talk
so-
about one?
Oh yeah, go for it.
There is also one if you happen to be able, when Adventures by Disney restarts sometime in the not too distant future, hopefully, and you do the Southern California tour, you can visit Walt Disney Imagineering, and in the outside garden area, they have a Skyway bucket and a People Mover car that you can sit in, but only if you go there through Adventures by Disney or as a guest. Okay, I'm done now.
And so, yeah, unfortunately, the most pressing one is the corpse that lies above Tomorrowland. The tracks are still there, haunting us day by day as you stare at them and say, why? Oh, why are they just sitting there empty? Don't just
describe
tempt
every
me.
trip I go.
At least take them down because
No.
they're an eyesore.
No shade.
Aren't they critical to the structure of Tomorrowland, though?
Yes.
But parts of them aren't. At least hide the parts that aren't critical to the structure of Tomorrowland. Don't tempt me like that, especially when I know that they're never going to take the 2 years to close Tomorrowland, truly fix it, and bring back the People Mover.
You
So
know.
then I just have to be sad.
You know, if they brought down the track at this point, the fans would all whine and complain. How dare they remove this classic part of Disneyland?
Have you
I
seen
don't
the
know.
art that and I don't know, Cole, stop me if I'm going to jump on you here. There's art that came out a while ago, and it shows Kuka arms with people on them.
Incredible attraction.
Is that what it was going to be?
Yeah, that was the concept for the Incredible. Well, what morphed into the Incredibles attraction. There was concept of the Kuka arm that would take you along.
Yep.
I know, and this is like one of the few times where I can say I know this for a fact. I know a maintenance person, well, a head of maintenance, that walked the track with Tony Baxter and some people from the state of California. And in order to even think about bringing back the People Mover, they would have to widen every single walkway and every single doorway to make it ADA compliant. Yeah. And Disneyland would never try to touch that, which is the downside of it all.
How many times did they do that with Alice in Wonderland?
Jeremiah name dropping as always. Hey, we asked the people to send us their comments, so I feel like since some did, I should say some People Mover memories. This person, I think that's pronounced Rebecca Mosley, said she read large portions of The Courtship of Princess Leia, which is a Star Wars novel, while riding the People Mover frequently. That was one of the nice things about People Mover is most of the time you didn't have to get off. You could just keep going and going and going. And then Barry Allender, a friend of mine, says he misses Adventures Through Interspace. What?
The Flash?
Is that the Flash's name?
No, it's Barry Allen.
Okay, sorry.
I only know that because of the movie Catch Me If You Can. For the record, I'm not a big DC fan.
It's okay if you were.
That's his. That was one of the aliases he used in Catch Me If You Can, and that's how they figured out I was a kid because he read the comic books.
So you have company, Jeremiah. Other people like that, Adventure Through Inner Space. So
I thought you were going to make fun of me being a DC fan too, but
there's nothing wrong with DC. Batman's an awesome character.
But yeah, kind of going off Jeremiah's point though that he was making, doesn't seem like the People Mover will ever be coming because they're not going to spend the money to make everything ADA compliant. So just take down the tracks. Stop tempting me. I hate being tempted like that, especially the ones over Autopia. But this is a whole nother thing because I just want them to get rid of everything there to begin with. But that's fine. Like,
Tony,
I'm trying to get over that.
In what regard?
I just think that everything with Autopia is a waste of space.
I think
Doobie, I feel like you and I should leave this scene right now and just let them argue for a little bit.
With Autopia, when they announced that they were redoing it, I got really excited. Yes, we're finally going electric. No. That's my problem with Autopia. Only future chance.
It really loses its muster for anyone over the age of about 12.
I'd say 16 when you can drive easily.
But even my friends who were 12, like my brothers, once they were around 12, they were already over.
Jeremiah's maintenance friend.
That is supermodel Kathy Ireland at the 2000 Honda opening of Autopia.
It's really pixelated. I can't.
Not Honda. That was Chevron. Back when Chevron sponsored it, and they had the cars with personality. And the person, to all our surprise, who headed that media event was supermodel Kathy Ireland. So,
wasn't she in Superstar Limo?
No, she was not.
It was Cindy Crawford.
No, Kathy Ireland would not stoop to that one, please.
Cole, you just got to.
I just have one last thought on Autopia, and that it's such a waste of space. And if they were to just put a Frozen ride there, not Frozen Ever After, but any type of Frozen ride that ties in with Matterhorn, it would fit really well into that area with Fantasyland. Make that area Fantasyland, not Tomorrowland. I'm done with Autopia. It's dead to me. Exactly.
Cole, apparently you drove Tony away.
Yeah.
So you're now on every show we do from now on.
Tony.
Bye, Tony. It's been fun.
I'm sorry, I had to go vomit. That was
okay, but it would actually fit there with Matterhorn. It fits way more than it fits in a lot of other places.
I've seen worse decisions of things that don't fit where they are. So.
Jeremiah, do you have anything positive to say? Because apparently we are turning to negative land. Remember, we are a laughing place.
I really miss People Mover. Like it was probably the attraction of my childhood because unlike Tony, I loved going on it.
I liked it just for about a year. I was afraid of it for no reason.
I enjoyed the previews, beyond being the big nerd, the Tron nerd. I loved seeing the attractions that you would go through and seeing, especially when it was the World on the Move before the 96, 97 Tomorrowland became the World on the Move where they started tearing down rides. But going through and seeing the Mighty Microscope and the Star Speeder 3000 was so much fun. And it was just a great attraction. And one of my favorites was before they put in Captain Neo, when you'd go over and it was still the Tomorrowland stage and you could hear the band playing down there.
What replaced the People Mover when it closed in 1995, Jeremiah? Are we going to talk about that at all?
Cole?
Yeah,
we were Jeremiah?
Talking about the rocket ride.
I'm sorry.
I meant Cole.
We were going to talk about the rocket rods and the ill-fated decision to put a roller coaster in that area.
Actually, before we do it, can I ask a quick People Mover question of you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider the People Mover one of the top 5 Disneyland attractions of all time? While you think, let me show some proof of what Jeremiah said earlier.
Look at that.
I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But back to my question.
I don't think as an attraction itself, it should be top 5, but I think in terms of the enjoyment it brought people, I could certainly see people wanting it to be like, I think it's, if you look at enjoyment factor, sure, it's a top 5, but in terms of the creativity of it, it's not a top 5 attraction.
So, nice non-committal answer there. How about you, Tony?
I'll kind of play with what Cole said. As people enjoying it, yes. As an attraction, no. And the very reason, we'll go back to Rebecca's last comment, I sat there reading a book. What other Disney attraction can you sit there reading a book and just, it's a moving park bench.
It's a great view.
Doobie, to steal one of your phrases, the People Mover was overrated.
Oh, no. No. Anyway.
People Mover wasn't designed to be it was designed to be the trailers before the movie. It was a fun attraction. But Doobie, come on, in 95, you and I could ride it over and over and over and over again because nobody waited for it. It was just like Horizons was, where everybody's like, they need to bring it back because it was such a great attraction. Horizons was a good attraction. People Mover was a great trailer of what is Tomorrowland. I mean, I didn't even bring up seeing the Circle Vision waiting area and
I did.
Dusty the Delta Airline being down there.
Are you done, Jeremiah?
I'm done. You can close me out now.
Not only... Oh, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
So I wanted to say something, too. It goes with the whole World on the Move thing you guys were talking about. One thing that Tomorrowland had, which I wish they still had, and all of Disneyland has it a lot, too, more than here, and it's one of my bonus points for Disneyland versus here, is there's so much kinetic energy of things moving around. And the People Mover was one of the best examples of that because you could always see it moving around somewhere. And with that being gone, it does lose a lot of that. And then it got sped up, in the late 90s to jump into. But
I didn't make Jeremiah disappear. I don't know what just happened there. Which is a shame because my wife has a great comeback for him. And I wish he would come back so my wife, who has my back, can give him her comeback. And he's back
for it.
So, Jeremiah, you said, what other attraction can you read a book on, as if that's some kind of a negative thing to say about an attraction? Well,
no, that was Tony.
That was me again. So put us in the same room together, we might explode the universe.
Wow. Okay. So, Tony. No.
Jeremiah needs to come back. We have a comment for him. I was right here the whole time.
I'll be right back. Okay, you're back. So the train, the Mark Twain, the Tiki Room, all great attractions. Life Motors Action, great movie ride. The fact that you can read a book does not make an attraction any less great.
Read a book.
I don't think I would have read a book on any of those.
And by the way,
I could see the train. The train I would definitely read. I think I have read a book on the train, actually.
I read a book on the train, but I was working at the time. Don't tell Benji.
Let us not forget that the single greatest attraction Disney has right now is also a perfect book reading attraction, and that would be the
Skyliner. The Resistance?
The Skyliner.
Oh, okay.
So, I can't believe you guys all rated so low. I'm trying to find our 65 countdown.
I would think that's classified as transportation now.
Fine, then it's transportation that's better than any other attraction.
Any? Can I quote you on that? Better than any other attraction.
You may.
All right. Well, we'll see you Sunday.
Cole, you and I should leave now.
The Skyliner. Well, we need to put that on our roulette wheel so we can do the Skyliner.
I found it.
Oh,
TV, I found it.
What'd you find? Our thingy?
Yeah.
It finished top 5, didn't it?
It finished.
You're the stats guy. What's the
It looks like
standard medium?
ninth overall.
Oh, I thought it did better. It was my number one.
Ranking?
It was your number one. It was my number 4.
I
It
was
was
much lower.
Jeremiah was whatever 67 minus 29 is, somewhere in the 30s. And Tony was at 41, so I'll put it about 27.
All right, so you guys really brought it down if it still finished top 10. So
Yeah.
The People Mover, by the way, this is why Great Movie Ride is a great book writing attraction. Our kid used to make us ride that all the time.
They were the 2 lowest, except for Benji, who had it at 43rd.
Benji hates Jungle Cruise. He no taste whatsoever. I don't know how he calls himself a Disney
Jungle
fan.
Cruise is reliant on who's giving the Jungle Cruise.
So what's wrong with that?
Sometimes you get the overactors.
It always ends up somewhere between okay and amazing. That's okay. People Mover is the greatest attraction Disneyland has ever had. There is no close second, and that's all I have to say about that.
So then, quick question. So what are your thoughts comparing this attraction to the one in Disney World?
It's like a lot of people talk about the difference between Pirates at Disney World and Pirates at Disneyland, and how the Disneyland one is just so superior, and the one at Disney World shouldn't even call itself Pirates. It should just call itself like Mean People of the Caribbean or something, But that's how I feel about the People Mover. The People Mover at Disneyland is the greatest attraction Disney's ever built, and the People Mover at Magic Kingdom is okay. No elevation changes.
You're big on that
scenery,
elevation change.
The attractions you go through, I mean, you've got Star Tours and Adventure Through Inner Space and Buzz Lightyear, and you can barely see it. Nah. Space Mountain was kind of cool, but now it's just like going through the dark.
It's true. They did butcher Space Mountain on the People Mover.
So that's my opinion. Someone else can.
I've never experienced those.
So I'm spoiled because I get to go on it before all the mess of the world happened, and it hasn't reopened since. But I would go on it all the time. I know one time, this is years ago. I don't think they would even allow this anymore. I had actually fallen asleep on the People Mover, and I was by myself, and I remember seeing something I had already seen before. That's how I knew I fell asleep. Or I had some weird time travel paradox in one of the tunnels. And I came back and all the attendants were like, "He lives!" And apparently I had gone around about 3 or 4 times and they tried to wake me up or check to make sure I was alive.
They should have just put the cone in with you.
Yeah.
One of our readers just sent me this picture, so I'm going to put it up, even though it's not the People Mover, but it's another beautiful transportation attraction. So that's our reader, Amy. I don't believe this is a recent picture. I believe this is from a few years ago, riding the Skyway at Disneyland. That's adorable.
I think the Brett gives it away that it's just a few years ago.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Jeremiah, your thoughts?
Oh, I agree with Doobie. It's the People Mover out here is much more of the preview. Disneyland, again, with the elevations, had more fun. This out here is kind of like oh, look. And the fact that it was built and then extended. I mean, yes, the People Mover in Disneyland was extended for Space Mountain, but here it was like, oh, we're just going to make this giant turn. Okay. But the linear induction motors, if not for the People Mover, we wouldn't have half the attractions that we have now.
So I'll say this: I like the People Mover out there too. It's more of the experimental transportation idea. It was still the Tomorrowland trailer, as Jeremiah calls it, or Doobie or Cole, or who, if we can't think of who what. Ours, I liked ours in terms of the narration better when it was Tomorrowland Transit Authority versus now, and it's just like this generic, here we are at Monsters Inc. laugh floor, and then you hear Mike or whoever. And now it's basically like watching the old videos you used to order to go to Disney World proper, and now it's like in Tomorrowland, we have this ride, and this ride, and this ride.
Maybe with the new opening, they have a new narration. Who knows? Oh no, that's probably not happening at all.
I did like when they went by Mickey Star Trader, and it's out of this world. That was always a highlight, especially when you're like going to the bathroom over there or something, and you just hear it every 10 seconds.
You would go to the bathroom on the People Mover?
Oh, the bathrooms by that section.
Oh.
Boy, goodness me. Yeah, if you have some
Yes.
cheesesteak.
I never got to experience the one in Disneyland, but I feel like I would feel very similarly that the Disneyland one would be superior. I really love the one at Disney World. I do it all the time whenever I go there. But I feel like if I had this one at Disneyland, it'd be really hard to get me off of it. Well, I would have Doobie Summer of 1995, but like for 3 years.
See, and isn't that the mark of a great attraction, one where you don't even want to get off of it?
Oh yeah, especially because you're asleep.
Jeremiah did that, right?
Yes, it was me.
So my final question. Today we're gonna do
discussion. Hold on.
We're waiting for Tony.
Angry? This is what I'm reading.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh. All right, you have my sympathies at least. Are you seriously reading that book?
I've read it. I own it.
Okay, so on it today,
Okay.
on a scale of 1 to 29, how would you rate the People Mover at Disneyland?
Are your scales always going to be integers?
I think so.
Okay. I like
integers a little more. I could start doing irrational numbers if you want me to, but
you know what would be fun if I mean it's okay to do integers, but maybe instead of going from 0 to, maybe like on a scale from -12 to 49. And, you know.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay, so we're gonna go on a scale from I to pi.
I can do that.
Yeah, on a scale from I to pi, what do you rate it?
I went to art school. What's pi?
It's the square root of -1.
Oh, okay.
We're going from 1 to
How did you graduate?
3.142 blah blah blah.
How did you graduate without knowing what I is?
If I learned it, I forgot it. And that's the mark of most math classes with me.
I like the rhyme to that though. I to pi.
That is cool. That should be all I read now.
Movie? Wasn't that the song in a Goofy movie?
I to pi. Oh yeah. Rebecca saved me the effort.
I could go with mine. I'm gonna go with E, which is about 2.718.
I can't rank the people.
Let's do E to pi. E to pi would be great.
So
no, we have
to do how many spaces past the decimal do we have to do if we're doing E to pi?
E to Google.
Yeah. So on a scale from I to pi, though, I'm going with E, about 2.718. And I think that really kind of just says all of it. You don't really need to do much more than that. But for me, it's just that if it had a little bit more of a story, I think that would make it a pi level. But for me, it's got to be an E level just because I wish that there was some kind of story to make it more than just the trailer.
On a scale of I to pi, I am definitely going to rate it a pi. It's just the best. It is, you know, I mean, obviously the People Mover is not the most spectacular attraction ever created. Duh. 1967, a technological marvel for its time. Walt Disney spearheaded this creation. It is a quintessential Disneyland attraction. And for that reason, even though obviously it's been surpassed time and time again with the likes of dumb stuff Tony doesn't like, it is still, it is
stuff I do like.
I don't know what you like. You don't like what you like rocket rods, which we somehow didn't talk about. Well, we should still talk about that. But I honestly believe, no, it is not the best attraction. It's not the most enjoyable. The lines got to 0. All true. I honestly believe that is about as good a quintessential Disneyland attraction as there is, and I truly believe it is worthy of pi.
Big praise. Big praise.
One of you go next. No, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. There we go.
Tony, do you want to do your Greek?
Nope.
Yeah, I would give it a strong Pythagoras or maybe a chicken pot. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I don't.
Why did I say yes to this one?
Oh man.
Joke too. It was good. It was good. Like I said, I wish I had more time to write it, where I wasn't terrified of a pop musician. But but yeah, again, I'm spoiled because we still have this one there. But
that's not even an E.
You know, it was an e-ticket when it first opened. I found that out recently, and that kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, that is mind blowing.
Yeah, I just wish I got more time because I watched the video now, and especially as obsessed as I am with Tron, I wish I got more time with some kind of a Tron attraction. This is before Shanghai came into play, so now we're getting one. But
before you got Shanghai.
Yep.
So
that's where this came from.
Did you give it a number?
I said a chicken pot.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Low level.
That converts
I
to
thought
about
that was Jeremiah that said
2.54.
that.
Oh my God! I'm done.
Jeremiah, your turn.
A yes.
He's speechless.
If I had to choose I or Pi, I'd go Pi. It is, as Doobie said, it is one of the best attractions that sums up Disneyland in that time period. I enjoyed it. I really wish that I would have had a chance to ride it with Doobie, but we weren't friends, even though we love churros.
We could have been like on the same 4-car set and not even known it.
Probably.
I will say it is definitely a legendary attraction because even Tiny Toons, how I spent my summer vacation back in the day, ripped on it. Because when they went to Happy World Land, all they rode was it was called the monorail, but it was basically the People Mover, and they just saw all the attractions of Happy World Land and then went home. Okay, more quick.
I think.
Did nobody else watch?
I think we should save Rocket Rods for another dig a little deeper because I feel like it deserves its own thing because there is a lot to talk about there.
Yes, there is.
Glowing golf balls.
Yeah, there's just too much to discuss with it.
So I'll throw this out there. I've kind of been working on a little project regarding Rocket Rods because September 25th is actually the thank you, Sparkles, is actually the 20th anniversary of the day it closed. So
I was there the day it
closed?
opened.
What?
Rocket Rods?
Yeah.
The day that it closed, but not the day they announced that it closed.
Correct. Yes.
It's still coming back next summer. It's much like the hotel at Animal Kingdom. Next season it'll open.
Can you show off your shirt better, Cole? Make sure everyone has a good view of it.
There you go.
That is cool. No one's asking you.
This is from Disney World, but it has the Disneyland People Mover on
That's
it.
bothered me for I don't know how long.
What is the difference in the two? That's so obvious.
Well, the top for one.
The
shape of the vehicle.
Okay.
The wheels that aren't there.
So wait, Tony, it bothers you when they say something's one park and they actually use the version from another?
Yes.
Is that a pet peeve of yours?
This is blatantly Florida.
I'm getting ripped on by Luke. Always wear the same shirt when he does trivia. I have a rotation of 3 shirts, I'll have you know.
That's 0.14 less than pi. Repeating.
Not repeating. If we're repeating, the world would be a lot simpler. It's irrational. It goes on forever.
I'll draw you a picture of a number later. And that's my art school. Listen straight.
I can't believe Gideon didn't. He must have left because for some reason he memorized pi to like 15 digits. So I totally expected him to type it in there.
Well, yeah, I think that sums it up for today.
This is an abomination, guys. Thanks.
I know you said that's the Delta Airlines lion, Jeremiah, but I keep thinking of the MGM Grand theme park in Vegas when I see that.
It looks like the lion from Electrical Parade, which is another Tony
King
favorite.
Leonidas.
Yeah. I actually liked that float, and then it went away. Like the whole parade should have.
That's because Florida destroyed it. Please, Cole, close this out so we don't go off on another tangent.
I get to close out. Are you done,
Yeah,
Cole? I can
DB's
close
the
out.
closer. We're good.
All right. Join us. Yeah. Okay, thanks for joining us.
Join us.
Join us.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much, Cole.
Join us. Join us.
And may I finish? May I finish? As my third grade teacher would say to me, and everyone would snap right up. May I finish? Wait, I got a message. Let me see if it's important. Nope, we're good. Okay, so thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Cole, for your extinct expertise. Thank you, Jeremiah, for your witty insights. And thank you, Jeremiah, for your red face today for some reason. When he would laugh, he would get so red. It was hilarious. Nice haircut.
Thank you.
Later on today, like us, all that stuff. Later on today, 7:30 p.m. in only 2.5 hours, me and Gideon will be doing Disney Trivia Live in celebration of International Dog Day tomorrow. We are doing 2 contests. The first one, Disney Dogs, and the second one, Disney Dogs. So please be sure to join us tonight at 7:30 p.m. Sure to be fun. And then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., at least according to the schedule, he'll correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremiah, who is awesome with the finger tricks, that's easier, that's harder than it looks, will be live from the Magic Kingdom, 9 a.m.
What?
Are you not this time?
Not that I know of.
You're on the schedule as being live from the Magic Kingdom tomorrow at 9 a.m., noon Eastern time. That may or may not actually occur. And then lots of other fun. You know, the easiest way to make sure you know what we're doing when we're live, when we have premieres, is just to subscribe to the channel, like it on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, ring the bell on YouTube, and that way you'll always know when Doobie, Cole, Jeremiah, and Jeremiah are back on the show to do another edition of Dig a Little. Which reminds me, Dig a Little Deeper is coming up again on Sunday, where we do our current attractions. That one is going to be Rise of the Resistance, the undoubted second greatest attraction in the history of Disney parks. We don't know who's going to be on there yet because we have so many people who want to give their 2 cents, but I guarantee you it's going to be funny. Hey, Luke. So, Belly. Hello, Belly. So thanks, guys. Wave goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye to everybody.
Bye. Learn math.